2019, Mike Jackson, fresh from winning Best Newcomer in the previous year, headed into the TT with a new passenger, but the same hopes for great results. Local sidecar driver Michael Jackson was flown to a hospital in Liverpool mid-week for urgent surgery on his right hand, following a collision with the high wall at Tower Bends in Monday's race. Jackson and passenger Sarah Stocco clipped the low bank on the left side going into the bends. This fired the outfit across the road where it collided with the high stone wall on the right. The driver retained control of the machine, bringing it to a halt in the lay-by on the left approaching the gooseneck. Stocco broke a couple of fingers in the initial impact, but was otherwise unhurt. Jacko underwent a 7-hour operation on Wednesday. In 2023, Jacko is back at the TT with a new passenger and missing fingers in his right hand after that previous crash. This is also the first time Jacko has raced on the mountain course since the accident, but the smile on his face tells you everything you need to know. Joining Jacko this year is 19-year-old Jake Roberts from Ramsey, still a newcomer to the sport, and the youngest in the sidecar race by several years. Although Jake and Jacko have raced on short circuits together, Jake is competing in his first sidecar TT. Unlike solo machines, sidecars rely on teamwork between driver and passenger to maneuver these notoriously unstable outfits around the course at breakneck speed. And to add to the challenge, driver and passenger can't communicate during the race, instead each committing to their individual responsibilities and placing their trust entirely in the other.
Quite often people say, like, to me, even when Jacko's not around, like other sidecar competitors, and like, don't know how he does it. Like, it is mental. But I think it's a big thing to a lot of people. People have been stopping here and saying, like, I can't remember the lady who was there the other day, and she said, like, Jacko inspires her, like, to come back after that. Most people wouldn't come back. And you've said yourself, haven't you? I think a few people wrote you off, didn't they? And they sort of...
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And I don't say anything about it, but I mean, essentially I can still go out there and beat them. So we can beat them.
Jacko's come back from that crash, and we've got 2 13th places at the TT. We come 4th in the British Championship last year, and we're sat 4th in it again now, aren't we? So I think that goes to show a lot of Jacko's mindset as well. Cheers.
Obviously I'm glad to come back and finish 2 races, but like the first practice we went out on the Monday on that warm lap, I mean, I was very emotional, to be honest. I was nearly in tears because, I mean, obviously last time I come here and crashed, it's hard working. I had a year off work and 4 operations on my hand. I've still got enough operation to go, so I'd probably taken a lot for me to come back. But I mean, I prepared myself well, like physically and mentally, and I felt good. You know, so yeah, I'm happy enough.
When you reach the starting grid, do you have to clear your mind of thoughts about family, friends and life in general and just focus on the race?
I think you do quite a lot, to be honest. There's a lot of things that go on, especially the TT course. My mum especially, I can see she gets nervous and that, but I think you just have to put it to one side. Once you get out there and just focus on the track, but you can get in a place in your head when you're on the track where you're not really thinking, and that's where you want to be, really. Like literally, like you're present. Yeah. You know, you're not thinking about anything really. You just that's essentially like in a zone. So I think that's where you want to be.
It's definitely the hardest bit with all your family there. I mean, I felt quite. I was nervous for the first day, the first Monday, and we had quite a busy day, and then after that the nerves sort of went because I knew what was coming. I was just like more excited, but you're up on the start line and like everyone stood right. It's like you almost feel like guilty because it's like you're like can't wait to get going. You look at everyone around you and you just try not to swear as well, to be honest. But yeah, you do just feel guilty. And then it is true what people say. Obviously, it's my first TT, but like as soon as you get across that start line and like you get from that gate, everything's gone, and you just. Well, for me anyway, Jacko's focusing on the road, the gears, the bike, and I'm just focusing on nothing. Well, no, yeah, we've both got our jobs to do, and it literally as soon as that bike moves off the start line, that's when it all starts. But before that's a bit horrible, really. I think that's the worst bit.
Unlike the shorter laps at other circuits where you pass the pits regularly, here they are very long laps. Do you have people with pit boards around the course to give you information?
Yeah, we did. We had boards out here. I think we had one at the Michael, one at the Gooseneck and one at the Craig. I don't know who it was, but we had boards, and I seen we were.
I seen the one at
P17, then with P14, P15, P14, and it's nice to see them. But I mean, I'm not. Yeah, it's nice to know where you are. But, I mean,
you just racing that corner ahead of you.
Yeah, that's it. Just trying to keep your concentration. There's a lot of at times there's a lot of self-talk going on. Just to keep focused, really.
It's almost like a rally, as in like a car rally. Like they all set off, and quite often they don't see each other, and it is a race as much as it's a race, but it's your race. It's not who you're racing. You're racing the corners you're going through, and the track, and the conditions, and the wind, and that you're racing that. And then it's sort of when you all finish, then it sort of gets jigged about a bit. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. You know, you're against the course, really, essentially, and yourselves, aren't you?
Yeah.
Just want to try and go faster than what you've been previously. If you can keep on getting faster, you're going in the right direction, aren't you?
So, what is success for you?
Finishing the race.
Yeah. Finishing both races.
Yeah, it's a long old way. Yeah, it is long. You do sort of get into a groove of it, don't you? But I mean, you get to some point on it and you've just got to just grin and bear it. Like you can't even stop to think like, oh, this is mental. Like you've just got to just keep your head going all the time. And as soon as, like, I did it at top and bottom of the Garrow, like you sort of lose your concentration for a couple of seconds, and it's like you're catching up then to try and get your head back in it, because it's different for passengers. But if Jacko loses his concentration or something happens or he misses a gear or something, he's driving, so he gets himself back into it. And if I have something that, you know, I not miss a corner, or just something happens a bit differently that throws you off, he's still going flat out, and you've got to try and catch yourself back up. I think that there is nothing like it, really, is there? It's crazy.
And how do you feel now, compared to 2 weeks ago when the event started?
Relief.
I second that.
Yeah. I'm quite sad, actually. Not sad, but like I am relieved, I'm happy and all that. But you don't realise how fast it goes. You rock up and you set everything up, and the awning goes up, and you're up at Scrutiny Inn for the first time, and like you're going out for the first couple of nights to practice, and it feels like you're going to be here forever, and then it does just go, doesn't it? I don't know what you think, but you blink and it's like you stood on the grid for last time, and it's like, oh, got to wait a while to do this. But
what was it you said? I can't believe I've got to go back to work on Monday.
Yeah, that's going to be weird. Listening to customers complain about stuff, and it's just like, yeah, that's back to reality, isn't it? It's like a dream almost. I think this is like the biggest mental challenge I've ever faced, and it is physical, don't get me wrong, but it's more mental than a lot of people think. You see them going around, it's like, well, maybe not like the Superbike boys, because that's just fucking mental, isn't it? But like, especially for us, like you're on there for an hour, and it's like your body can do it, like, because otherwise you wouldn't have entered in the first place. You've got that confidence in yourself. It's your mind that you've got to tell that you can do it. So it's probably different for Jacko, because he's constantly focusing more intense than I am, and like on the straights and stuff. But you've really just got to like have a fight with yourself as well to get yourself round, because at the end of the day it's not just me on there. He's looking after me and I'm looking after him. So yeah, if for next year or whenever I end up doing it again, it's just to know you can do it, and you've got to just fight yourself a bit more. I think that's the hardest bit I've found.
I'm Abi, I'm Jake's fiance.
And I'm Hayley, and I'm Jake's mum.
Even though you're a local team, in terms of a global sporting event, how special is the TT?
The TT's the TT. You know, there isn't any other race that is like the TT.
It's like I was talking to Chris Beaumont, the guy from Three Wheeling, and he said there is no second. Like the TT is first, and there is nothing after that.
Now that their racing is over, how did you really feel about Jake competing here?
I think we were both the same, weren't we? I think
we've
been in denial, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've been in denial since he said he was going to do it, which was last year. Abi and I, it was a banned conversation up until probably about 2 weeks ago in the house.
I think being here as well, me and Jake set up on the Tuesday, set the awning up, we had all our friends here helping us set up. We stayed here from the Friday night, so Friday wasn't real, Saturday wasn't real, Sunday night it hit me. Boom, they're out tomorrow.
Yep.
During races, what's your routine after they've left the start line?
We sit behind the grandstand. Up until, I probably would have sat on the grandstand, but I don't like I think we're both the same, aren't we?
Yeah.
Don't like the idea of them showing the live footage. Don't want to see what he's doing. Don't need that, so...
I don't think it's just that, I think it's like you've got everyone else up there watching you constantly, there's constantly eyes on you, there's...
Yeah, I mean everybody up there is in the same position because they're all on that grandstand, which I think is fantastic. You know, it is all family members, but it's, yeah, we had our seats.
We had our live timers on our phone.
Yeah, and we just sat behind the grandstand. Then when they got to the bungalow, we'd walk through, watch them across the line, and then we'd go back through and we'd sit until they come through on the last lap.
Yeah, and then we'd wait.
And then we'd cry.
A lot.
Yeah.
Is it hard for family to watch?
Really hard.
For me, like today, I was a bit on Saturday. Jake's finished now, so I don't mind him. I don't mind him hearing. But on Saturday, on the first race, I was stood obviously behind him, and I had these silent tears, and I was just wiping them away. And
I've had them a lot.
Yeah. And then today's race, honestly, whether it was the hype for the second race and just wanting them to finish, to get home safe and just to get that second finish, I don't know what it was, but I broke. My friend come here literally about 10 minutes before we were going to walk up, and she hugged me and she said those 3 words that I hate, which is, "Are you okay?" And I just broke and I had to go. Jake was getting his leathers on. I had to go round to the side of the van, and I was just... I couldn't stop crying. But then afterwards, once we actually started walking up, I was like, oh, maybe that's what I needed. I'm actually okay now. Yeah. Until I got on the start line.
You keep saying to me, like, I was wondering how long it would take for you to put your sunglasses on.
Yeah.
When we get emotional, we put our sunglasses on.
And that's more to stop Jake seeing the emotion between the eyes. You know, at the end of the day, we're here to support Jake, you know. And I actually said to Dean, my husband, I said, today was the first time I was like, I actually don't know whether I'm going to be able to go on the start line because I didn't feel like I was going to be able to contain my emotions. He doesn't need to see that, Jacko doesn't need to see that. But I managed to pull myself together, which was good.
Yeah, she did really well.
Yeah, I pulled myself together. I've experienced feelings this last 2 weeks that I did not know. I'm getting emotional again. Yeah,
Maybe the champagne.
Yes, champagne. It's proud, absolutely, but yeah.
They always say that the sidecar paddock is a big family, and
yeah,
it is. It really is. Like, you hear someone's broke down and you're gutted for them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, your main focus is your team.
Once yours are across the line, it's like, right, okay, where's everybody else? Like, we need
is everyone else okay?
Everybody else is okay.
As a privateer team, is there any point in the year when you can all stop thinking about racing?
I don't think it ever stops.
No. I mean, my birthday is the last weekend of
no racing.
Of no racing, so it's like that's our last proper chill celebration, and then it's racing, and then it's like over the winter Jake's preparing for next year. He's on the rowing machine, he's constantly working. I mean, it's not a cheap thing. Like, it's really expensive. You've got to work your absolute backside off just to be here. It's like if you don't have all of the sponsors behind you, I mean, it costs you an absolute bomb. Just getting to British rounds, like on and off the island, to get our van away, it's nearly £400 a time. And it's like we do split that, but we work our absolute backsides off to be where we are.
Is this Jake's dream?
I remember when we were at school, like year 7, and he was like, I'm going to do the TT one day, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And now, 7, 8 years later, we're here. He's done the TT, and I've been with him the whole step of the way.
You know, Jake got off the bike on Monday, and he looked at Dean, and he was absolutely beaming, and he looked at Dean and he was like, there really is nothing else like it, is there? And Dean was like, nope. And I looked at Dean, Jake walked away, and I looked at Dean and I was like, this is it, isn't it? This is just the start. And Dean was like, yeah.
As soon as he stepped off the bike after that newcomers lap, and Jacko said that was the best newcomers lap I've ever done, and he had the biggest smile on his face I've seen in years, and I was like, this is just the beginning.
Which is better, the sidecar or the van?
I love my van. I really love my van, you know.
It's not a holiday, and you really do, you're exhausted, so it is, but no, you soon start looking forward to the next year. Just start counting down.
Start ticking off the weeks.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sharon.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Lucy.
And my name's Joe.
We're all from Woking in Surrey.
Fair distance to travel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as far as Ramsey to Douglas in the Isle of Man.
No, we started doing 0-0 this year.
Right. So just wherever
we get put,
Yeah,
really.
basically just to help out, so it goes all the way round, so there's nowhere short of Marshals.
So, Orange Army makes the races happen. And Marshals no racing.
That's it.
Yeah. You know, you can run a race with 2 riders, you can't run a race with 2 Marshals.
No.
That's all about.
But why are you in the Isle of Man?
Joe's dad's here. But we just fancy coming. Me and his dad fancy coming years ago, just for something different.
You're welcome.
See, isn't that the TT though? Isn't it? It's awesome, isn't it? Like just yeah, I just love that.
Yeah.
It's like that literally is the TT.
Yeah. No, it really is.
I came in 2000.
I'm going to say 2006, and since then I've learned to ride a bike, and I passed my test, I'm going to say, one day before I arrived on the Isle of Man, and
Nice.
I rode the track, which was pretty daunting.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I tucked myself up behind a car and held on.
Well, my first year was probably 2010, which was an incredible year for records, and I was just a young lad. My dad came over with my dad. Yeah, I've pretty much come over since, tried to come over a year.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a newbie. My first one was 2019, so I've done 3 now, I think. I've enjoyed every one of them.
Do you find road race fans respect the Orange?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. Last night, just going down, we joined the convoy to go down the mountain, and the amount of people that stood and clapped us as we went through, with sheer appreciation that we've given up our time to help out.
Pretty good everywhere I've been, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, they have. You do get the odd one or two, but 90% of the time everyone respects that it's road racing. It's completely different to track racing, and everyone knows the rules. You're only always going to get one, but that's everywhere, isn't it? So
It's like today, we've had so many people come up to us and ask us, oh, can we do this or can we do that? And this is our first time up here. And you have to sort of think on your feet, because, you know, well, no, you can't. I don't think you should do that, but ask the man in charge.
What we here about after 10?
yeah,
Half 10.
10.
Half
It's a
10.
late start today, so we got to lie in.
Lie in, but on section at 10:30. Solo lap goes off 1:30. You know, so 3 hours before that even goes.
Yeah.
And then you've got 6 laps of what is a very fast section.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's no gentle accidents at the bungalow.
No.
I mean, touch wood, we've been lucky. We haven't
Had to
been
deal.
involved in anything like that yet.
Must be a good luck charm on it.
But
Yeah.
you know,
No, but
if it happens,
it's,
you deal with it.
You know.
we all get trained, so you know, it's everyone. You only work with what you feel you can do, and you won't know until you need to use it. But general public, I'm pretty good.
I try to go to most PSP rounds, but I've never marshaled. I've always considered it, but just never done it.
And yet, year after year, road racing.
Yeah. It's a different thing.
Does it seem like a different sport almost?
It is a different sport.
I don't know if track stuff would do it for me. Quite, you know.
Yeah.
Where else can you go where you can be watching the racing, be talking to a race rider, you can actually be watching them working on their bikes, so you're there through the good and the bad. Last year, especially the first year straight after COVID, my God, I've never seen this place so busy, and everyone was so grateful that we was free again, so that made a big difference. They're all good guys.
John
and
McGuinness, you know. We've seen John McGuinness, you know, and this old girl stopped him and said, "Oh, can I have you off?" He's going, "Oh, please, I'm late, I'm late."
He was meant to be getting on his bike,
He still stopped
and he got the programme, started doing it, and of course everyone bombarding him, and he's going to this old lady, "Look what you've done to me now," and I'm meant to be concentrating, but really laughed, and it was just, you know, this old lady was, "Oh, I'm so sorry, John, but thanks." She had what she wanted.
You get to meet your heroes, don't you?
Yeah, you really do.